My wife and friends laughed while making rules for me. I made one rule that silenced them all. Mocking laughter hit me before I opened the door. I walked in to find 5 women in a circle with notebooks on my coffee table, all red-faced from laughing. My wife held a handwritten list. "And number 12, she announced between giggles. "He has to ask permission before buying anything over $20. The group erupted. One woman slapped her knee. "Oh, look, speak of the devil," one friend chirped. "We were just discussing you." My wife beamed. "We're making rules that would make marriages better. Guidelines for husbands to follow." These weren't suggestions. These were commands wrapped in female empowerment. "What kind of rules?" I asked calmly. They rattled off their masterpiece. Rule 1. All major decisions require wife approval. Rule 7. Daily gratitude speeches about his wife, minimum 2 minutes. Rule 11. No single friends. They give ideas about freedom. Rule 18, the notebook woman read. Weekly allowance system. Spending money based on rule compliance. Good behavior rewarded, bad behavior punished. They discussed me like a child needing behavioral modification while I sat 3 feet away. "How would you enforce these?" I asked conversationally. They eagerly shared strategies. Withholding privileges, public embarrassment, financial consequences. My wife nodded. "If he's stubborn, we use social pressure. Get other wives involved. Community effort." "That's brilliant," I said, meaning it. They'd revealed how little they respected any man in their orbit. "Before we continue, if I'm subject to 18 rules without input, I should contribute 1 rule of my own: silence." I was supposed to passively receive their wisdom, not participate. "What kind of rule?" my wife asked cautiously. "One simple rule for balance and fairness." They couldn't refuse without admitting their system was one-sided. "Fine," my wife said. "1 rule." I stood slowly. Any woman creating rules to control her husband automatically declares herself available for the same treatment from other men. Complete silence. "What does that mean?" my wife asked. Confidence gone. "By establishing that spouses can unilaterally create binding rules, you've opened the door for reciprocal treatment. If you can make rules for me, I can make rules for you." "That's not the same thing," one protested. "Isn't it? You explained how husbands need structure and oversight. I'm applying that logic to wives who redesign marriages without consultation." My wife looked panicked. "This was just a fun exercise." I held up their notebook of detailed rules and enforcement strategies. "This looks serious to me. You thought creating rules for husbands was necessary, but when I suggest the same for you, suddenly it's unreasonable." I straightened up. "Since we're about fairness, your husbands should review this project. They deserve to know their wives created systems to control them." Panic filled the room. Women bold about managing husbands suddenly looked terrified. "You wouldn't," my wife whispered. "Watch me." I pulled out my phone. 5 confident women stared at my phone like a loaded weapon. Wait, the notebook woman said, voice climbing. "You don't need to involve anyone else." "Why not? You discussed community enforcement. I'm including the husbands." Within minutes, they begged me not to call their husbands, offering to destroy the notebook. "You thought you could redesign marriages without consulting partners. That's a respect problem." My wife was crying. "I'm sorry. I wanted to fit in." She'd been willing to humiliate me to impress friends. I tore their notebook pages, letting pieces flutter down. "This stops today." After they left, we cleaned up the scattered pieces. "How do we fix this?" she asked. "Marriage works through respect, not control."